Good afternoon. This is the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley. I'm Reverend Pam Geagan. Please enjoy the service.
Good Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley in Camarillo, California. I'm Reverend Lynn Chaplain Noe, and we have a wonderful, wonderful morning and afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are in the world for you. We have, of course, our spiritual leader, Reverend Pamella Geagan, and our Assistant Minister, Reverend Betty Ann Brennan, and Pamela Bailey is here. She's our lead practitioner. Ryan Kimmery is going to play some wonderful music for us. And of course, Buzz Noe is going to tell us what's the buzz and what's happening. So our vision statement is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And the way we do that is teaching and demonstrating spiritual principles for living an abundant and fulfilling life in a welcoming, compassionate community. And we have, of course, the flames of faith. We believe there is one power, one source, and there are many paths to that source. And by lighting the flames of faith, we honor all religions, Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, Sufism, and all others that step forward in love. There's that one fine thread that runs through and connects all religions, and that thread is love. We are love, we come from love, and we honor our oneness within us all. And now it's my pleasure, as always, to introduce Reverend Betty Ann Brennan with our quote for the day.
Hello, everybody. Just as soon my quote comes up here, there I am. These are wonderful truths to dwell upon throughout this whole week. I am so grateful for my knowledge of the truth. The time is now. I am the change I want to see. For this, I am filled with thanksgiving. And now I'll send it over to Pamela Bailey, our lead practitioner.
Thank you so much, Reverend Betty Ann. And so now I am going to do an opening treatment. And I would like those of you who are listening or watching to do whatever it is that has you feel comfortable and in a prayerful mode. And so as we do this and take a deep breath and let it out, and one more, just deeply breathe in and out. Taking in all of that which has already been shared about the candles of faith and the truth that we know. And so as I turn into prayer this morning to start this service off, I am just knowing that all there is God. All there is love. All there is energy. And it shows up everywhere as everything. And as I am aware of that, I know that that presence, that power, that intelligence, and that creativity of God is present exactly where I am right now. And so as I know that I stand in this point of now, in creation, that available to me is all that is. And I simply allow that truth to run through me and to realize that in this abundant, wonderful, varied universe, all that is available, and all that is good in its own way, and all that is exactly as it is. And sometimes it's not as I would like it to be. And in those cases, what there is for me to do is to know the truth that perhaps there is something that is there for me to do, or for us to do, or for us to simply become aware of. And so in this beautiful day, this day when we are so blessed to be living where we do and to be living as we do in all the abundance that we have, and that we not only enjoy it, but we appreciate it massively. For we, in this country, we are so blessed, and we are so blessed to be free to worship as we wish. And so as we come together in spirit, as we come together in mind, knowing that this is what brings us together, that one mind, that one spirit, in all its magical and wonderful diversity, and that today is the day that the Lord has made, and today is the day that I take some new ground, that I make some new choices, that I reach out in new ways, and I step up in new ways. And in doing so, I'm enlivened, because that is what there is for me to do. And so in that place of knowing that this time of worship is preparing me, is filling me for moving forward with that which I'm here to do, I am just ever grateful, knowing that all is well. And together we say, and so it is. And now I get to pass it on to, who do I pass it on to?
Me.
Hey, Her Reverence Pam Geagan.
Thank you, Pamela Bailey. And now it's time for a blast from the past, as I say, as we hear words of wisdom from Alan Watts. You're ready to wake up.
If you awaken from this illusion, and you understand that black implies white, self implies other, life implies death, or shall I say, death implies life, you can feel yourself not as a stranger in the world, not as something here on probation, not as something that has arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. What you are basically, deep, deep down, far, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself. Because if you play life on the supposition that you're a helpless little puppet that got involved, or if you play it on the supposition that it's a frightful, serious risk, and that we really ought to do something about it, and so on, it's a drag. There's no point in going on living unless we make the assumption that the situation of life is optimal. That really and truly we are all in a state of total bliss and delight. But we are going to pretend we aren't just for kicks. You play non-bliss in order to be able to experience bliss. And you can go as far out as non-bliss as you want to go. And when you wake up, it'll be great. You know, you can slam yourself on the head with a hammer because it's so nice when you stop. And it makes you realize, you see, how great things are when you forget that that's the way it is. And that's just like black and white. You don't know black unless you know white. You don't know white unless you know black. This is simply fundamental. So then, here's the drama. My metaphysics, let me be perfectly frank with you, are that there is the central self. You can call it God, you can call it anything you like. And it's all of us. It's playing all the parts of all beings whatsoever, everywhere and anywhere. And it's playing the game of hide and seek with itself. It gets lost, it gets involved in the farthest out adventures But in the end, it always wakes up and comes back to itself. And when you're ready to wake up, you're going to wake up. And if you're not ready, you're going to stay pretending that you're just a little, poor little me. And since you're all here and engaged in this sort of inquiry and listening to this sort of lecture, I assume that you're all on the process of waking up. Or else you're teasing yourselves with some kind of flirtation with waking up, which you're not serious about. But I assume maybe you are, not serious but sincere, that you are ready to wake up.
And now it is my joy to introduce our very own poet laureate, Buzz Noe, with What's the Buzz? Take it, Buzz.
Thank you, Reverend Pam. And hello and welcome to all of you on the first Sunday of March. Let's all be confident that this pandemic is now on a downward arch. We'll soon hear what Rev Pam and Dr. Sue have to say, but now I'm here to share the announcements for today. At 9 a.m. weekdays on Facebook Live, Reverend Pam's morning meditations will allow you to thrive. Creating Affluence is Rev Pam's new theme for this week. It will help you to reveal the prosperity that you seek. At 7 p.m. Thursdays, also on Facebook Live, our midweek spiritual uplift adds more to your divine drive. Do You Believe in Dog is the title for Rev Lynn's lesson. A fun exploration of our kinship with all life is her theme for this week's session. At 10 a.m. on March 28th, the fourth Sunday of the month, Lisa Coffey will be here on a Zoom with a lesson you will want. The Wisdom of Vedanta shares ideas with Science of Mind. Lisa's lesson will allow our divine perfection to shine. Join in with Lisa on Zoom prior to our Sunday lesson. Constant Contact has the link info for you to attend this session. Through the rest of March and into April is an event that we can all cheer. The Season of Nonviolence, which all started out right here. It runs till April 4th, that's 64 days, and with it we can change the world by using peaceful ways. The link to participate is on Constant Contact. You'll learn how to make a peaceful and positive impact. This pandemic crisis is a challenge indeed, but our center is always here to help you succeed. You can call and give us a request for a prayer or send us an email from anywhere. We're always here for you, so please let us know what we can do. We trust someday that we'll soon be able to meet again live. Until then, our center continues to help us thrive. So please donate to keep our center going so we can be here to keep your wellness flowing. And two other places where you can lend a hand. Please do give them whatever you can. Ventura County Rescue Mission provides the homeless with much good, and Ventura County Food Share feeds the needy in our hood. A reminder that our center is part of Ralph's Community Contribution Program. A portion of whatever you spend at the store gives our center a small donation or more. So please do sign up or simply renew, and Ralph will contribute at no cost to you. Our center's code number is JE859. You can sign up at the store or do it online. Another way to help our center for a while is to shop online using Amazon Smile. When you complete your purchase for the items that you got, it'll donate to our center right on the spot. And here's a reminder that daylight savings time will be arriving soon. It brings a longer day to us and a 1 hour later moon. And that's it for the announcements and all I had to say. And now here's Reverend Betty Ann Brennan, our practitioner for the day.
Shall I have someone else do the treatment?
Yes. Can you hear me? I can hear you. You can't hear me. Yeah. Yes. Am I ready to go? No. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. My goodness, what a rough sail into this. As practitioner of the day, I want to give you some good and challenging ideas. I'd like to do that. Along with our topic today on question everything, I looked for some quotes on questioning to satisfy my curiosity. And Euripides said, question everything, learn something, answer nothing. Very interesting concept. Question is very important because if we just accept things as they are, we will never find total truth. Because working with mind or an idea or something you want to experience, it's questioned from the top down. And as you get deeper and deeper, the answers, the feeling, everything gets so much better, gets so much clearer. So and don't accept anybody's word for it. Figure it out for yourself. Find it for yourself. As for me, I don't ever teach anything that I haven't experienced. I've got to know that it works before I let anybody else see it. And I'm happy to report that it works. I've got a nice quote here from Socrates. I know you won't believe me, but the highest form of human excellence is to question yourself and others. Questioning being human excellence, that brings in quite an idea. So what we need to do is always be open to that. And then Ernest Holmes says, all the power of the universe is within you. Feel it, know it, then act as though it were true. I think that's really interesting. We have to, we may know all of these things, but we have to get to the point where we express ourselves and really make those ideas work in our life. So please join me now in a treatment for centering. I know right here and right now that I am having an experience, a conscious experience with spirit. We run around all the time, kind of in a foggy way, and now I am open. My eyes are open. The light of the world is in them, and time is going to just create for us new and wonderful things. I question all because by questioning, I eventually find the truth. It's a searching, it's a journey. And so right now, in this moment, I open myself to set foot on the path of that journey. The idea that brings to me the peace and quiet, the beauty and the joy, everything that is sought. And that I relax and accept and allow all the physical things to just drift by. And I am always here, protected and loved. And so I experience love in this moment. The greatest and highest thing that any human can do is to love and to be loved. And so I just give great thanks that this wonderful, wonderful ideas are open to us. And I question my way down to find the truth. And I just turn these words over to that infinite creative power and see what comes much better than I can even imagine. Just say, and so it is. Reverend Pam, on to you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Reverend Betty Ann, so much. And now it is a joy to introduce Ryan Kimmery, our musical inspiration for today.
Sometimes I feel like the boots upon my neck. Some days I can't feel at all. Sometimes I'm climbing crest and suddenly backslide. Folks just say enjoy the ride. I might have some trouble trying to shift on into gear when your teeth are chipped and nearly shit, and when you're drowning all you want is air, but it's bottled up, so pay the fare. Someday soon I'll be back on that road. Whoa, the places I will go. But till then I'll just mind my cracked head. Feels like I'm better off in bed. Feel like an imposter who stumbled on the stage. Well, now the spotlight is a cage. And what's to say when all your lines been read? Your mouth is dry, your words been said. When all you built starts to slip into the sand, brace it back the best you can. Maybe if you go and try another point of view, things might shift a different hue. Someday soon I'll be back on that road. Whoa, the places I will go. But till then, I will corral these blues. Realize I've nothing left to lose. When I start anew.
Oh, thank you, Ryan. And now it is my honor to introduce my mentor, my teacher, my dear friend of the heart, Reverend Dr. Sue Rubin, for our talk today, Living in the Question. And so I'll just start off here, Dr. Sue. And to me, you can tell me obviously what you feel about this afterwards, but living in the question means detachment to me. It means to be in the question without outlining anything. And it doesn't mean giving up our intention, giving up our goals. It means to, when we set our intention and our goals and our desires, we give them over to the universe. It sounds so metaphysical here, but we give them over to God and just say this or something greater.
And my thoughts are that to live in the question is to start with self-inquiry, because the deeper that we go within ourselves, by the way, hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. To live in the self-inquiry of who am I, what am I, the perennial questions that have been asked over time immemorial, is to really come to the deeper purpose of our life. Why am I here? What is it that is mine to do? And with that purpose in mind, literally being immersed in the awareness of the one mind, then that's the point from which there is guidance and direction. I was reflecting earlier on the story by Leo Tolstoy that is The Three Questions. And basically, it's a fable. And it tells the story of a king who came to the conclusion that if he knew the answer to these three questions, that he would truly not only gain possession of himself and know who he was, but he could better serve the kingdom. And so the three questions that he asked are these. Number one, what is the right time for every action? What is the right time to do anything, everything? The second question, who is the right person or the right people to be with in this action? Who is the right person? Who are the right people to be with? And the third question, what is the most important thing to do? What is the most important thing to do? So starting with the first one, I believe that you have to start, as always, with yourself, the self with the big capital S, that we truly can determine what action to take until we know who we are. And so that would be the first essential of living a spiritual life, meaning living from the inside out, beyond what the world determines we should be doing, or what other people more closely involved in our world consider ourselves to be. So I will now see what your thoughts are. What is the right action? Who's the right way to do it with whom? And what?
You know, I love that. I love that you added finding the authentic self and the purpose of life and living in the question of who am I and what am I to do? And so that is where I come into the listening part and that deeper place of meditation, because usually what happens to me on a personal level is I have an idea of how things should be, and I'm attached to that idea more or less. And it doesn't necessarily use all my gifts, all my talents, or does it match when I go within and I listen to that deeper self, that heart self, the one that, the heart that knows, the heart that is so brilliant. And so the heart that knows that the heart is exactly where I should be and doing what I am doing. It means I'm in the now and it's mine to do in that moment. And so my authentic self listens to that greater purpose. And then who is meant to do this? Obviously, it comes from me many times. I'm the one who is supposed to take action in some way. And what was the third question?
And the third one is, what is the most important thing to do?
The highest and best for all involved. Letting go of the small self and going into the God self. That's my answer. And I'm so clear about this that I need to be in the question more. So what about you? What is yours? What is when to do it? What is it? And what is the outcome there? Go, you take it.
So let me just give you a brief summary of what that fable was. So the story about the king is that the wise people of his kingdom came to him with what their interpretation was as to the three questions. And he wasn't satisfied. And he decided that there was a hermit who lived by himself, obviously, and he would hold the answer. So the king said, that's it, I'm going off to discover for myself the answer to these questions. And so he arrives at the hermit's place and he asks the three questions again. What is the right time for every action? Who is the one that I need to be taking this action for or with? And what is the most important thing for me to do? The hermit doesn't answer. The hermit is busy digging in his garden. At which point, after repeating the questions over and over, the king says, let me help, takes the shovel and digs. At which point now a wounded man comes falling into their area, obviously bleeding and hurt. Turns out that the king and the hermit take him into the home, take care of him. And the man heals, recovers, and asks for forgiveness. So right in the midst of this scene, it turns out that he was sent to kill the king by his brother, who had been robbed by the king of all his possessions. And so forgiveness becomes an issue in terms of the right people and why they're there. And the story turns out that the answer is really the simplicity of our lesson in life. What's the time to do anything? Now. Who is it that we're supposed to be involved in the doing? Whoever's in front of us. So this is our moment. There's nothing beyond what happens. And the most important thing to do is actually what we're doing right now. And that begins, and in the middle and the end, it's love. To me, the bottom line is cultivating the nature of love and knowing that in each and every present moment, that is why I'm here, why you're here. Well, we're all here. And really what, quote unquote, the world needs now is love.
I agree 100%. And I think that it goes back to some of the simplest things is why are we here? To love, to serve, and to remember that we are the divine spirit within, and it is ours to do to the highest and best of our ability what is placed in front of us. And I think anything and everything placed in front of us is for our awakening, our deepening. And so to really, instead of falling into the hole, so to speak, that is dug, that we look for that highest and best opportunity to build our spiritual muscle and to deepen ourselves. As we pull from the highest and high and go into the deepest of deep, into the great beyond within, I call it, and find out what the truth of being really is. Many times what I think of the truth of being is, if it doesn't include love, and it doesn't include service, and it doesn't include deepening who I am, then why am I here? You know,
Exactly.
Time to move forward and upward and onward.
And particularly in these times, you know, what is for example, if we reflect back on the past year and the expectation of entering a new year, I think the fantasy within our minds and hearts was that would change everything. You know, that this new year would be the answer, because I think humanly, the greatest challenge to know what's the most important action to take and to stay in the moment with what's happening in the moment is to realize that the continuity of life is such that, yes, we can have that twinkling of the eye, revelation and healing. And for the most part, it takes longer for all of us.
You know, our consciousness takes longer to catch up too. We are human. I always say, when I do meditations and everything, I say, let us ground into that middle earth, because we're here to learn these physical, emotional, I always see this planet as the emotional planet, lessons. And the lessons we are to learn is from that physicality. And many times the consciousness is in that oneness, and yet the body and the rest of the beingness has to catch up, so to speak. And so whatever is happening on this planet, and there is so much happening on this planet, it is getting our attention so that we can more or less, it took us a long time to get to this point is what I'm saying. And it takes us time for our consciousness to say, aha. Sometimes the ahas come in the twinkling of an eye, as you say, and sometimes they take so many awakenings and heaven quakes for us to go, aha, I get it now. Yeah. I get that I should be taking care of my fellow man, by whatever that mean, that fellow man, or my humanity, in a way that is not practicing and being, it's not all about me throwing plastic in the oceans, to speak, or to not wear my mask if people suspect that the virus is being caught. You know, why would, it's such simple little things we can do to take care of ourselves, take care of our all those around us, and also take care of humanity in a more loving, kind, greater way. You know, and to be, you know, I just read a story about a Hindu story about Savatsi, I think her name is, and also Lakshmi. And they say these are two very important people that we have to pay attention to. And the reason is, and who they're both so beloved and they're so beautiful and you're attracted to both of them. But Savatsi, I'm not saying it right, and I'll correct myself later, I'm sure, is the one of knowledge. And the Lakshmi is the one of love. And so if we pay too much attention, not love, but of the human body and the beauty, and what we need to do is become more, and the more we go with Lakshmi, the more Savati or whatever becomes jealous and takes over, because it is the knowledge first that comes. So the knowledge and then the feeling nature, that's the passion behind that. And so if we stay in the knowledge and knowingness, in the oneness and the brilliance of that one power, that one presence, then the all rest falls in place. And so we stay with the knowledge, and then we follow the love. Love points the way, law makes the way possible. Yeah.
Exactly, because as you were talking about that, in converting it to science and mind technology, it's the conscious mind which provides our awareness of truth, the awareness of the divine presence of love, while the subconscious mind is that creative medium. And yet what we're knowing about life and love, particularly in the Western culture that we're a part of, it's the conscious knowledge of seeking the answers and finding the wisdom of the ages and truly personalizing it and integrating it with ourselves. There was a book long ago, I'm not sure who it was, but the reminder was to start thinking, you know, as Westerns, we think very more easily with our heads, with the intellect, with what is rational and justifiable, and either on the printed page or has been scientifically proved. The heart is the one where intuition exists, that allows me to stay present and know. And so the statement from this book was to start learning how to think with the mind of the heart. Think with the mind of the heart, because we know now scientifically and physiologically that the heart is of its own intelligence, just like the gut, where the emotions are, as well as using the brain. So the physical body contains the wisdom, and when integrated, again, love and law, conscious mind, the awareness of the presence of love, and then knowing the creative power of that universal intelligence that takes us at the word we speak when we know and believe the word of truth, of awareness of wholeness and harmony and goodness and the generosity and compassion of the spirit.
Exactly. And so the question is really not about how is this unfolding for me. It's, we know it's unfolding. It's what do I need to know to support the question? The living in the question is to be the openness and the receptivity of knowing there's something greater than the mind, as you said. You know, we now know that the brain cells are in every cell. There's as many brain cells in our heart as in our brain, as in our body, as in our gut. And when we follow all of those patterns together, then we listen deeply. Again, I go back to listening deeply, and to really listen and to see where we move forward next.
And listening deeply is, again, the circle comes right back to the inner call for meditation, for sitting in the silence. I know that in talking to people about meditation, a lot of the early on, not so much now as way back when, was, oh yes, I do this guided meditation every day by so-and-so. And it's like, that's wonderful. But to listen to yourself for your own answers, you're really evading the main point, which is you can't hear yourself if you're still more focused on thinking your answers outside of yourself. Living in the inquiry and living the answer really reveals what the question really was in the first place. because often the questions that we ask from the peripheral part of our mind, the intellect, it's not what the inner soul has already prepared to answer. And that can only be gained when you have such a relationship that develops, that is deep and personal, where what I believe about the one God or infinite intelligence or Emmanuel or Atman Brahma, under whatever name, the many names of God, yet I have to come to a deep personal relationship with that so I can personally, consciously contact it, through which process then I am guided. I can, in any situation, withdraw from anything that's going on around me, and particularly in today's environment, where even the opportunity for quote unquote healing and eliminating this devastating coronavirus, even that is up for grabs in terms of controversy. I believe it? No, I don't believe I'm going to do it. So even there is the opportunity to find out, what do I believe, after searching, not only scientifically and with my own perception, but to listen, what is it that is mine to do? It brings me back to the Course in Miracles, those questions to ask every day. Where is it I am to go? What is it I am to do? And what is it that I am to give, to say, to do? And with whom? Where? Point me, infinite intelligence, guide my way.
And I agree that the perfection of who we are comes from the heart of the true self and the divine love within. And so when you are listening to that deeper self, and it could be something totally different than you've ever imagined, but when you empty yourself, when you go into the emptiness and then listen deeply again, all that we experience in this life, it's only temporary. Everything outside of us is only temporary. The divine within us is what the rock I stand on, that oneness. And yet, and I know we're just here for a blip of time. To us, it's forever. I realize that, but we are here for such a short period of time. And so why not use it? Why not move on it now? Just like the waters moved on in the one day in the beginning. Let's move. When we are asked within ourselves to do something, do it now. Be the yes person and do it to the highest and best to your ability, because the divine right inheritance that we stand on as we turn inward in times of need, it's there for us to listen to and to know deeply in that questioning. And again, I love being in the question, and it's all a question to me. I love being in the mystery, and it's all a mystery to me. And then I'll have moments of clarity, but they're only moments where I get the answers. They're never absolute. I'm never attached to the absolute. This is the only way we can do it, like meditation. I hear this all the time about, well, I've been meditating this one way forever. And I think, well, how is it working for you? Have you even thought, is this the divine answer that you're getting? And is it still bringing you joy, or is it just something you're attached to again? That you've always done it and you've always done it your way. And so that's the way it's going to be. I'm for flexibility and being in the question and being in the mystery.
It's so interesting. I could have sworn that we were talking about living in the answer. Because when you really think about it, we only truly discover what the bigger question was by the experience we're having of living in what we thought we were asking for. I mean, that sounds convoluted, but it's true. It's like if you think back on your life while at the same time reflecting forward, what is that greater that is yet to be by means of me? The answer will always reveal everything you were doing was pointing you in the right direction. So stop second guessing yourself and stop doubting or resisting what it is that's happening now, because in looking back, you and I, everybody can see, oh my God, I never realized when I took that step that it would lead to what followed, because we still do not have that full sense of completeness, which the divine mind has about us. So we don't have the completed picture. And as the saying goes, we're making it up we go along anyway. And the bottom line to it all is to do good toward yourself by honoring that global, universal self that is pure goodness.
I agree. And I'm going to close with, first of all, when we do things from our soul, beyond what the mind is telling us, but when we go deeply and we listen, then you feel that river moving through you. I always look for those signs of, well, how do I know what truth is when I feel this like river of good moving through me. I know that this is the truth of my being in this moment. And I agree. Buzz always says this too. Every single moment of every single minute of our life, everything that it took for us to be right now having this conversation, if we would have changed one thing, we wouldn't be here right now together, heart to heart, person to person. And I pass this on to you to close us out.
Okay. So why don't I do it with a what we call a spiritual mind treatment, but what really it boils down to, it's treating our mind, that busy place which will take us anywhere but now, to do anything other than what needs to be done with the person standing in front of us or the situation. I'm going to treat in the I am, my mind mentally, to the truth about myself, which is the truth about all. It's the divine name for all of creation, I am. And so I am centered in this present moment, giving thanks for it, for exactly the way it is. Giving up from this moment on any preconceptions and cherished opinions that I hold to be true intellectually. I allow myself to think with the mind of the heart as to what is it that is mine to do in each and every moment, relying totally and completely on the infinite intelligence and intuitive heart of the mind of God as me. I am guided and directed from the place of my concept, my belief, and my conviction. So I bring greater faith, acceptance, and conviction into every moment's activity, blessing myself in a world that truly awaits that collective buzz of oneness, of allness, of that energy of life proclaiming itself beyond human concepts and divisiveness and anger. Oneness, one, one life, one presence, one power, one principle, one action. It is happening now as it happens in each and every moment by means of me. And I truly do contribute in a greater way to that which represents the nature of wholeness, oneness, listening, knowing, believing, and taking the actions that are equal to the words I speak, knowing it's all God, it's all good, and it is that which I am, all are, everything is, for which I give thanks, and so it is.
And so it is. And now it is thank you so much, Dr. Sue, on this day where I have people moving in with me. Anyway, it is so wonderful to have you on always. And now it's my honor to introduce Daniel Nahmod with Empty Hands, a wonderful song. Okay, well, you know what? Thank you very much. And it's now my honor to introduce Ryan Kimmery.
People say I'm crazy, doing what I'm doing. Well, they give me all types of warning to save me from ruin. And when I say that I'm okay, well, they look at me kind of strange. Surely you're not happy, boy, you no longer play the game. People say I'm lazy, dreaming my life away. Well, they give me all types of advice designed to enlighten me. Well, I tell them that I'm doing fine watching shadows on the wall. But don't you miss the big time, boy, you're no longer on the ball. Well, I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. How I love to watch them roll. No longer riding on that merry-go-round. No. Well, I just had to let it go. People asking questions, lost in confusion. Well, I tell them that there's no problems really, only solutions. Well, they shake their heads and they look at me as if I've lost my mind. Tell them there's no hurry, I'm just sitting here spending time. 'Cause I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. How I love to watch them roll. No longer riding on that merry-go-round. No, I just had to let it go. Well, I just had to let it go.
And now it's my honor to introduce our wonderful Rev. Lynn Chaplin-Noe with our offertory.
Thank you, Reverend Pam. I am so grateful for this wonderful service today. This was just so wonderful. Such a blessing when Dr. Sue shows up. So I'm going to show my gratitude, and this is how you can show your gratitude, by saying this offertory with me. And if you have an offering in your hand, put it on your heart and say this along with me, please. Divine love blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And that's the way it is. There are so many wonderful ways to contribute to our center, which is still there physically. I can't wait till we're all together again. It's going to be a while. So thank you for watching our Sunday service. And if you feel like you've received some value from this experience, please support our ministry with a tax-deductible donation. And our website is www.csl-pleasantvalley.org, and we accept PayPal and Zelle. And there are many other ways to contribute. Remember the old-fashioned way, snail mail, you can still do that. And we thank you for attending the service today and look forward to seeing you again. There should be something coming up on the screen in a minute to show you how to mail this to our center. And that is to the center. That's the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley. And then again, there it is. That's 221 East Daily Drive, Suite number 1, Camarillo, California. And that's the CSL Pleasant Valley. And the zip code is 93010. And our website again, www.csl-pleasantvalley.org. And we'd love to get emails from you, requests for treatment. You can talk to the practitioners, the ministers. We want to hear from you. We want to stay connected with you. And the way to do that is cslpleasantvalley@gmail.com, all one word. So now in this spirit of gratitude for this wonderful service, let's have a closing treatment, something that you can take out with you for the rest of your week. And so let's close our eyes if you'd like. And of course, we've been breathing a lot this morning, so breathe a little bit more in and out deeply, and know in this consciousness of gratitude and oneness, and in the mystery and the beauty of the universe, I affirm that there is one power, one presence, one way of life, and this is all God, forever full, forever complete, forever guiding and loving, and forever expressing through and by means of me, because I am the divine individualized expression of all that God is. So my purpose in life is to reveal God, and is to reveal this wonderful expression of generosity and love and creativity and beauty, kindness. Creativity more than anything is our true nature. So as I stay in this mind of not knowing, this mystery, this state of inquiry, as Dr. Sue was talking about, then I'm open and receptive to all manner of good being revealed in my life. So I step forward this week in my life in this state of inquiry. What can I do? How can I help? How can I show love? How can I demonstrate kindness? That's a good start. So I am so grateful for these loving truths. As I release them now into the law of mind, I allow divine mind to take care of the details, while I enjoy this glorious, wonderful, expressive life. And together we say, so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Reverend, so much.
Barked on the truth.
And I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Our wonderful Reverend Dr. Sue Rubin, who had an appointment, and so she's on her way to her appointment. And Lynn and Buzz, and our wonderful Spencer behind the scenes, Ryan Kimmery, and Marcia Beebe and Ivan Korolinski, and also I can't think of anybody else right now. I'm sure Betty Ann, our wonderful Reverend Betty Ann. I knew there was somebody. I love you, Betty Ann. Have a great, 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 great Sunday, and I'll see you next week. Mwah! Yes, heart.